Straight Talk with your host Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, all right here. Oh, Simply Straight Talk.
Welcome to Simply Straight Talk, a part of the RM Viagem family. I don't know about you, but I want to leave a legacy that I could be proud of. So today, the topic of the show is creating your legacy. Here's your host, Reggie, to get the discussion going.
Welcome, Straight Talk family. We are back with another episode for you. And today we are going to talk about something that I am hoping and praying is going to get you moving in your life, that's going to get you headed to another direction, a bigger one, a better one. But you know what? I want to add a little something extra to that. Because you know what, family? I want you to work on your legacy. Now, I want you to bear with me now, because I have come to the conclusion that when we talk about leaving a legacy, that it's been downplayed. Because what does leaving a legacy mean to you? Because when you look it up now, and you look on YouTube and all the little videos talking about a legacy, they are basically talking about, you getting out of bed, you going to work, you on your grind. But is that leaving a legacy? You know what I'm saying? Because what does it really mean when you leave a legacy? Because to me, to leave a legacy means you're leaving something that not only you are passing down, but it's something that you're passing down to your children. It's something that you're passing down to future generations. See, we got this understanding that leaving a legacy means you're building something for yourself. But we're talking about leaving a legacy, something that you can pass down. And to me, that's what a legacy is. A legacy is something that you are setting up, you're working towards, but you're creating something for your future generations. You're creating something for your children, for your family. And, this is when you get to the point to where you realize that, when everybody in your family is having a hard time, everybody's struggling, but you don't want your kids to go through it. You don't want the rest of your family. You want to build something that your family can benefit from. And when you think about stuff like this, a lot of people say, well, look at Shark Tank. Look at the people, look at the people that's on Shark Tank. Mark Cuban, Lori, Mr. Wonderful. They have all left a legacy because they have built something that they can pass on to their kids. Now, people, I want to think, when I think of a legacy, you want to know who really comes to mind to me? Because like I said, some people think a legacy means it's simply like, oh, I help people. I do this, I do that. Volunteering for 5 days, or a day or two, you're leaving a legacy. No, when I think of a legacy, I'm thinking of Martin Luther King. I'm thinking of Muhammad Ali, Henry Ford, Eleanor Roosevelt, Sarah Breedlove. Now, some of you may know her as Madam C.J. Walker, Neil Armstrong, Ben Montgomery, and Richard Spikes. Now, if you don't know who those people are, I highly suggest you look them up. Matter of fact, let me give you the names again. Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali, Henry Ford, Eleanor Roosevelt, Sarah Breedlove, a.k.a. Madam C.J. Walker, Neil Armstrong, Ben Montgomery, and Richard Spikes. Now, I know people are not going to look them all up, but let me tell you something. If you like to drink beer from the tap, you might want to say, thank you, Richard. That's right. Say thank you, Richard. Go ahead. Thank Richard if you're a beer drinker from the tap, because Richard created the beer tap, okay? Give that man his props. Now, because when we talk about a legacy, you want to pass something down. And I understand it's tough, man. It's tough today. It is really tough trying to create anything, because a lot of us are struggling just to find a job, just to keep a roof over our head. We're struggling just to get to work, just to make it every day. When you're trying to deal with family, you're trying to deal with relationships, you're trying to deal with finances, health issues, all this stuff going on. Then on top of that, you got to deal with all this buffoonery taking place in the government. So I get it. It's not easy. It's not something that, immediately comes to mind because a lot of us right now, we're focused on now. We're in survival mode. We're in survival mode. We're at the point to where in order for us to make it the next day, we got to fight every day. And I also get the fact, we got people working 2 and 3 jobs. So we got people that's really out there trying to make things happen. So I get that. But are you willing to leave a legacy? And do you know what legacy you want to leave? Because when you think about your life, and I want you to think about something for a minute, family, because you know what? I had to think about this. Let me say this first. Nobody in my family is rich. We have not had any rich or wealthy people in my family. So there's nobody on TV, nobody in the movies, anything like that. There's no celebrity platforms in my family. So we have never had the privilege of a legacy being passed down. We've never had that because everybody's had to fight and struggle to get to where they want. And I'll be honest with you. And like I said, this could just be my family. You may got that perfect family, but when you get certain people that sort of doing okay, they sort of peel away from the rest of the family because it's like, I don't want them taking from me or asking from me. But that's the way it is, is you can't make everybody see or do but leaving your legacy is important. And like I said, nobody in my family has money when there is no rich people in my family at all. But we all maintain and, we survive it just like a lot of families out there are. But, even I sit down and I think sometimes like, man, I wish I can do something that, even for my nieces and nephews coming up, that something that they can say, okay, this was created by the family, it's a business or something that can be passed down, that they can run it, that they can pick up with it and build it up even more to pass it down to the next set of kids in the family, the next nieces and nephews and grandchildren. So that's the goal. That's what is needed in society today. And I know the economy is not the best. The job market is not the best. But at some point, we got to figure this thing out. I mean, because leaving your legacy does not mean you're always building something for other people. It means you're building something for you. And the people I just named, they created something, they built something, they made a difference in this world. But in doing so, their legacy left something for their children. Because people think that it's always about money, because sometimes you can leave a legacy. Like I heard Martin Luther King's daughter speak one time when I worked at this university, and she came and she gave this speech. And she was very adamant about the fact that when Martin Luther King died, he left their family nothing but bills and grief. And, she was just like, the only thing he left us was his name. And sometimes, you know what? That can be a very valuable asset, a name. Now, I understand the fact that, yes, you had to struggle. You had to go through some things. And her father sacrificed a lot. He sacrificed his family time. He sacrificed himself. He sacrificed his time, who he was, because he had a family, but he understood that there was a greater need and a bigger issue that had to be fought, because he was fighting for an entire race. He was fighting for something for an entire race. So this man left a legacy that not too many people will be able to compete with. So I understand the fact that she was upset she didn't seem upset, but you could tell that she was a little disgruntled by the fact that his legacy was his name. It wasn't exactly money. Now, he did leave a legacy, but it depends on how it was embraced. Martin Luther King was a strong activist for civil rights. As his children carrying his name, you could have pursued that same effort, because people want to see and hear. There are still people right now who's in need. There are still people whose civil rights are being violated. So your name carries weight. Leaving his name is a good thing. It carries weight if used correctly. And I understand it's tough. It's tough. So that brings me back to what I kind of mentioned at the beginning. Have we lowered the standards for a legacy? Now, don't get me wrong. We all look at Colin Kaepernick, okay? Now, Colin Kaepernick, if you don't know, was a football player for the San Francisco 49ers. At that time, there was a heightened killing of African-American males by the police officers. Now, he was taking a knee because he didn't feel that America basically was living up to the words of the national anthem. Now, do I agree with him? Yes, I do. I don't think America lives up to what the national anthem actually says. And I had no problem with him taking a knee to the national anthem because when you think about it, remember, the national anthem was not written to include blacks because blacks were slaves at that time. And even when it was supposedly freedom, blacks were still living under restrictions. You couldn't use water. You couldn't buy land. It was all this different stuff. That's a whole nother video. But my point is, so he basically took a knee, and it basically led to him being blackballed and not being allowed to play in the NFL because no team would re-sign him after that. I guess they was afraid of the backlash from fans or whatnot, or it was too distracting. But no team would take Colin Kaepernick, which I think is wrong. Now, Colin Kaepernick was recently given the Muhammad Ali Award. Now, do I feel he deserved that award in comparison to what Muhammad Ali did? No, I don't. Colin Kaepernick basically took a knee, and that was his right. He took a knee. Like I said, I don't disagree with what he did. But did he deserve that award? And that's why I say I feel like, our legacy is being, when people say leave a legacy or do something that's empowering, I think we're rewarding small things. That was something really more personal, in the fact that he even came back and said, you let me play, I stand for the national anthem. So he was totally just all of a sudden threw away everything he said. He said that I will come back and play and stand for the national anthem. So, it's just, I don't feel he deserved that award, but like I said, getting back to the point, when we say leave a legacy, I think we need to up the bar. We need to up the standard. And I mean, talk to me, Straight Talk family. How do you feel about it? Do you feel that the word legacy has been lessened over the years, that we're not striving for bigger and better and more long-lasting things? Are we looking for 15 minutes of fame? Are we looking for something that's just going to last a few minutes? And I think that's something that you have to look at. If you're looking to create a legacy, what are you looking to create? How long are you expecting your legacy to last? Are you looking for something that's going to last for generations and for something your kids to build on? And another thing we have to look at is, are you inviting your kids, your nieces, your nephews, and family members to help create this legacy, to help build this legacy? I mean, how do you feel about that? Do you feel that more of our youth need to be active in families to create a legacy, or should it be strictly on the adults? Because in order for it to happen, it's going to take somebody to do it. And I'm going to tell you the one word it's going to take to make a legacy come to life. And it's not something that's taken lightly. It's really not. And of course, I'm going to make you wait to the second segment, right? So, but, we really need to start to evaluate what we're leaving and setting our families and up for success. Because if we don't start to make that change, to do that thing that's going to work, that we can build on, that we can pass down and teach our younger family members or teach our nieces and nephews, then we can't leave a legacy. We can't. We have to find a way to build a legacy. We have to find a way to build something that's going to make our lives better, but not even if it means that it's not us for the moment, but if it means that we're doing it for the future. All right, face up. All right, man, I'm getting y'all confused with the other website. Y'all know I've been working. All right, listen up, Sipping Straight Talk family. We're about to take a break right here in a few seconds. And I want you guys to know that I really appreciate you guys. And just keep in mind that we are a part of the RM Viagem family. That's RM Viagem. So make sure you go and check out our website. You can see some of the works we've done, some of the music that I have actually written and got out there. I got a couple more songs I'm going to put out. But like I said, we're going to take a quick break. So you guys stay locked in right here. And I'll come back. We're going to dig a little bit deeper into this. You know how we do. We're going to go a little bit deeper into this and see if we can get a little more information and set some people on the right path. All right. You're listening to Simply Straight Talk.
Don't even think about it. We got more straight talk just for you. RM Viagem is a company based on life's journey and sharing life lessons with the world in the form of laughter and reflection, inspiring people to go after their dreams and not giving up on life. RM Viagem creates inspirational music and motivational speeches designed to motivate all age groups. Visit our website at www.rmviagem.com to hear samples of our music. You will also find motivational articles on our blog page titled New Life, New Mind blog. We also have a weekly podcast hosted by Reggie called Simply Straight Talk, all on our website at www.rmviagem.com.
We're back with the conversation starter and the voice that works harder. Your host, Reggie.
Hey, Simple Straight Talk family, we are back with the second half of the show. And for those of you who missed the first half, let me kind of reintroduce you to what we started the conversation all with, which is creating your legacy. That's right, creating your legacy. But we're going to get a little bit deeper right now because you know what I'm about to do? I'm about to give you 5 key, very important traits that you're going to need. You're going to need these qualities if you are going to create a legacy. You're going to need these qualities, okay? Because if you use these qualities, you implement these qualities, I guarantee you, you will create a legacy for you and to pass down, okay? You want to pass something down because like we said, we want to create a legacy that we can build something and pass down to our families, pass down to our children, our grandchildren, our nieces, our nephews. That's what creating a legacy is for. That's what it's about. Creating something, building something, developing something that has an impact, but has an impact not only on the other people, but has an impact that you can pass down to the ones you love the most. Now, we're going to start off with the first thing you're going to need to know. Here's one of the first qualities or traits you're going to need, and that's the ability to be able to serve. If you are truly wanting to create a legacy, you must learn to serve. And when I say to serve, I'm talking about you understand what it means to actually be willing to step out and help people do things. And when I say do things, and when we talk about servers, a lot of people don't like to serve. They want to lead, but they don't want to serve. And sometimes the most important thing you can ever learn in life is learning to serve others. Because when you learn to serve others, what you're really learning is the humanity side of people. You're learning to embrace the concerns, the issues, the hurt and pain of others. So by learning to serve, you develop an understanding of those around you. You develop an understanding for what is needed in life. You develop an understanding for what other people are feeling. And this can help you create a legacy because you're now going to learn compassion. You're going to learn how to embrace people. That is why creating a legacy is important. But creating a legacy is important by knowing how to serve. If you cannot serve, then you cannot lead. So that's number 1. Learning how to serve will help you create a legacy. Number 2, creativity. You need creativity. You need to be able to think outside of the box. You need to be able to look at the picture and not only see what the artist has created or what is before you. You need to be able to look at the picture and within your mind start developing other views, other thoughts. You need to be able to see what other people can't see. See, that is how you build something that somebody else has not already built, because you're using the full capacity of your mind, and also you're learning with the experience you got from serving to see well beyond the canvas. You're looking deeper. So you need to understand that creativity is so important, because the more creative you are, the better you're going to be at looking and creating something different, because you'll be able to look at something that's been made and you'll be able to see how to improve it. You'll be able to see how to decorate it. But like I said, creativity is so important. So you need to learn creativity. The other thing, adapting from failure. Yes, you need to learn this. You need to learn how to adapt in the case of failure. When you fail from something, it doesn't mean that you just give up or you just quit, but you learn how to adapt. You learn that failure is not the end. That when you can adapt from failure, it means you evaluate what went wrong, what happened. How can I fix it? How can I avoid this mistake again? How can I make it so this does not happen again? You have to learn to adapt to failure, because every failure is pushing you closer towards a victory. But the only way you're going to get that victory is you're going to fail. It's like somebody who runs track. You know, when you're running track and you're going around the track, okay, you start to learn the bumps on the track, the parts of the track that got cracks. And the more you learn, you start to pick up where you need to jump, where you need to run, where you need to stop. That didn't make any sense, did it? I was just sort of trying to pick something out the blue. You know what? But let me go with this. Wrestling. I wrestled in high school. And when you lost the match, you had to go back and watch the tapes and kind of figure out what happened. You know, did I bend down too low? Did I move in too quick? You know, did I reach back and I shouldn't have reached back? You know, how was my confidence level? Was I confident about going into this match? You know, did I exhibit that confidence? Did I listen to the coaching and the knowledge that I had about my opponent, or did I just go in blind? You see, you got to learn from failure. Failure is learning from it's just basically, it's a way of teaching you, this didn't work, try this. And that's all you're doing. When something fails, you simply just push it into the next gear and go to the next level and implement something new to replace what didn't work. That's all it is. You're figuring out what worked and what didn't work. And you're taking what didn't work, kicking it out. And what worked, you're building on that. You're figuring out what works and what makes it work. Okay, I hopped on that enough. The next thing I want to talk about is sacrifice. Yes, in order to create a legacy, if you seriously, I want to, this is straight to our family, I want to be honest with you. You cannot create something to pass down unless you're willing to sacrifice. And sacrifice means you have a heart that you see that you may not reap the benefits of what you're doing, but you're building something for your children to build on and your children's children to build on. You know, so that's the importance of sacrificing. If you're not willing to sacrifice, then you're going to have a hard time leaving a legacy, because you're going to be eaten into everything that you're building because you're trying to live for the moment, and you're missing out on looking at the fact that you can be building something that your family would not have to struggle on. Just imagine if you were the one to build something because you sacrificed your time that the rest of your family could build on, that for years you can start making a change to where kids, your nieces and nephews, can start going to college. They can start doing their own business. Everybody wouldn't be struggling. If you got kids that are out there running the streets and, you know, thinking that the only way to make it right now is to go to a life of crime, creating a business, creating something that's actually a legacy built for success will help them see that, no, I don't want to lose what my family's built because our name is on it. Somebody has to be willing to sacrifice and say, I'm not going to reap the rewards, but I want to pass it on to my family. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is really important: endurance. You're going to need endurance if you're going to create a legacy, because it's going to mean you're going to face a lot of negativity. You're going to have doubts. You're going to have fear. You're going to have naysayers. You're going to have people that's dropping from you, people not understanding why you're doing it, because they're going to tell you, you only live life once, so go ahead. Why are you doing all that? You only live life once. You're missing out on life. No, you're trying to give a life to those that come after you. You're trying to give a life to your family, to your loved ones. So you have to have endurance for the failure, endurance to go through the struggles, because it's going to be tough. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, y'all. That's why we call this show Simply Straight Talk, because we tell the truth. It is not going to be easy. When you're trying to build a legacy, when you're trying to build something for your family to survive on, it is going to take endurance, because you're going to have to endure all of the negative, all of the bad, in order to make it work. And the only way it's going to make it work is for you to have a lot of endurance. And I know you have that. I know you can do that. And it's not about you having to give up. It's about you deciding that this is our time. This is our moment. And we are going to make it. Our family is going to survive beyond struggling, beyond the streets, beyond the day-to-day, paycheck to paycheck. I'm going to change it. Our family will not live the way we're living anymore. All right, Straight Talk family, we're about to take another break right here, then we'll be right back with the final thoughts of the show. So I hope you're enjoying this, and I'm telling you right now, we have to start creating a legacy, everybody, because one person, one legacy builds on to the next, and we just keep adding on and adding on. So you guys stay tuned, and we'll be right back with the final thoughts, so don't change that channel.
This is Simply Straight Talk with your host, Reggie, bringing the conversation straight to you.
RM Viagem is a company based on life's journey and sharing life lessons with the world in the form of laughter and reflection, inspiring people to go after their dreams and not giving up on life. RM Viagem creates inspirational music and motivational speeches designed to motivate all age groups. Visit our website at www.rmviagem.com to hear samples of our music. You will also find motivational articles on our blog page titled New Life, New Mind blog. We also have a weekly podcast hosted by Reggie called Simply Straight Talk, all on our website at www.rmviagem.com.
Are you ready for the straight truth? Reggie, what's the final word for today?
All right, Simply Straight Talk family, we are back with the final thoughts of today. Now, today's topic was creating your legacy. Now, I know this wasn't exciting as some gossip and all this type stuff, but you know what? Let me give you the final thoughts. See, if we focus more on creating our legacy, leaving something for our next generation, then we might find that those of our family members that are taken to the streets, especially our younger generation, might feel like there's something invested in them. Leaving a legacy means you're investing in your family history. You're investing in your family's future. And that's what we need to start doing. And like I said before, there are 5 traits, qualities you need to do that: sacrifice, serve, creativity, adapting to failure, and endurance. No one wants to struggle. No one wants to live a life in poverty and watch their kids, crying for food and hungry and going paycheck to paycheck every day, trying to figure out how you're going to make it the next time, to the next paycheck. So at some point, we have to sacrifice and start creating a legacy. We have to start getting together, especially if you got a family, and you just start working together to figuring out what is everybody good at. How can we take the knowledge that everybody has and put it together to make it to where we can build something to where we can pass down from generation to generation, so we can start letting our kids know that we're building something for them. And creating a legacy, that means even if you want to go into politics where you're building the chain of the next governors and presidents and mayors and councilmen, to where you are very much active in the community. I mean, look at the Kennedys. The Kennedys was based on a name. that Kennedy alone could get elected. And it's all about the name, creating a name by doing something. And that's by leaving a legacy. A legacy is something positive. Look at Muhammad Ali. He created a legacy with boxing. His daughter started boxing. His legacy will be forever. The same thing with Martin Luther King, great civil rights activist. His name still carries weight, is celebrated every January, is taught in schools. So leave your legacy. Find a way to find it in your heart that you're going to make the decision, that you're going to do something to change your family's future. Change the way we do business by making sure that we are doing something that's going to create something for our children, something for them to look forward to, something for them to feel like I'm investing. Henry Ford created cars, and it's still making Fords today. Can you imagine if Henry Ford, I don't know if he had kids or not, but just can you imagine Henry Ford's kids saying, you know what? We're going to own this one day. We're going to own this one day. Look at Art Rooney of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you know the Pittsburgh Steelers were originally bought for $25 by the Rooneys? And it has been passed down through generation from generation to the family members. Imagine being in that family and saying, you know what, one day I'm going to be part of the Pittsburgh Steelers ownership because that's our legacy. The legacy is we own the Pittsburgh Steelers. Our family owns it. So this is our legacy. And just imagine being a part of that as a kid, thinking like, I want to learn the business. I want to learn football. I want to learn this. Because by doing so, you're helping to maintain the legacy. The kids feel like they have something that's going to be inherited, that's going to lead them. And it's a path for them. It's something for them to look forward to. We have to create legacies where it is something for our children to look forward to, something for us to look forward to. Even if we don't reap the benefits, let's look forward to a better life to our younger generation, to our nieces and nephews and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. All right? Hey, this is Reggie. Thank you for joining me here on Simply Straight Talk. And we will be back next week with another show, with another hot topic. And because we got to keep it going. And as always, I appreciate the love and support. And I really thank you guys for tuning in every week. And don't forget, for those of you who haven't checked out the website, it's rmviagem.com. That is the parent company for Simply Straight Talk. It's RMVIAGEM. Just log in and check that out and see the things we got going on and what's coming up. And also, you can see these episodes also online as well. Hey, thanks for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Peace and love. Hey, hey, hey.
Simply Straight Talk with your host, Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, all right here. Oh, simply straight talk.